G'day, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Harry, and as usual, we're back out here in the doghouse. Look, when I first opened the Cooper's Starter Kit, I thought this is going to be amazing. But after tasting the beer, let's just say it wasn't a life-changing moment. There's proof. If that had been my first home brew, well, I might have gone back to buying beer. Now, what I'm about to show you today just isn't for beginners. It's a quick method for those of you that don't have time to get an all grain or an extract recipe in. It's a crowd pleaser and it's a keg filler. In order to do this, we're going to have to go into the girls' kitchen and in particular, the Tupperware cupboard. Look, security's tighter than it's ever been ever since she got back. So we're going to need some help and I know just who to call. Lucky I have two guys in mind that can cause a diversion so we can get in and out undetected. Guys, thanks for coming so quickly. I'll explain what the plan is. Now, before I get busted, I just want you to know that I've had an awesome time here on the channel with you guys, so wish me luck.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
That sounds like Sizzle's in position. Let's move out. So I've gathered up all of the stuff that we're going to need to put this together. Pair of scissors, can opener, spoon, induction hob, got a 5 litre pot with a colander. I've also grabbed my thermometer, a small set of scales that weigh in grams, a hop bag, a grain bag. We've got our cracked grains, our dry malt extract, as well as our 2 tins of malt extract. I've also got the dextrose weighed out. And last but not least, our coffee plunger. All right, so let's get ourselves organised here a bit. We'll just move some stuff out of the way that we don't quite need just now. So I've just taken our yeast starter out of the fridge. You can see that all of that yeast has formed a nice tight yeast cake down the bottom of our flask. And we're going to decant all this spent starter away. About there. All right, so we still need to leave a little bit of liquid in the bottom. And we'll swirl that up. Okay, now we're going to put this to one side and just let it come back to room temperature. Now, while we're here in the laundry and our yeast starter's warming up, we'll start prepping our fermenter. And into that, we're going to add 5 litres of water, as well as our star sand. So we'll just shoot our star sand in there, come in behind. That syringe a good rinse out. Once that's done, we'll just pop our lid back on and give it a good shake around. Lid's on, finger over the top of the bung.
I am Cornholio. I need tippy for my bunghole.
And then allow some of that to drain through our tap. And just leave this sit here for now. Get ourselves a little mixing bowl. Get rid of the plastic off the top of the can. There we go. Okay, get rid of your yeast because we're not going to use that. We'll put that aside though. It'll come in handy for later projects. So once we've delabelled our cans, pop them into the plastic bucket. Right, so this has just come to a boil, so we'll turn him off. Get rid of our lid. simply transfer that 2 litres of boiling water over into our concentrate tins and just let them sit in there and soak. So the next thing we need to do is bring up another 2 litres of water up to between 70 and 73 degrees. And this time we'll pay a little bit more attention, or a bit of a close attention to the temperature as it comes up. Just bump that back a bit. Right, so while that's coming up to temperature, we're going to prep our grains. And to do that, all we do is take our hop bag and tie a knot in one end, just loosely so that all your grains don't fall out. And into here, we're going to put our 300 grams of specialty grains. Now the easiest way to do that, I've found, is if you grab yourself a soft drink bottle, and we're just going to cut the arse end off with a razor knife. So we'll do that. And then it's just a matter of feeding that into your little grain sack and pouring your specialty grains into our little funnel that we've created. Shall we get it all? Now it's just a matter of untying that first knot and tying these 2 ends together. We make ourselves a little bag so that the grains can move around nicely. Righto, so that's come up to temperature. Turn that off. Check our temperature again, make sure we're not over 70. We're sitting at 68 and a half, good enough. And we just drop in our specialty grains. Okay, we're going to pop our lid on and set a timer for 30 minutes. So while that grain's soaking, we're going to use the time available to best effect, and we're going to drain the sanitizer out of the tap and put it into our 5 litre jug, same as we did for the starter kit. And then we'll just plop our lid back on our fermenter. That's ready to go. At the same time, while we're in here, we'll just turn on our jug and wait for that to come up to the boil. We'll use that hot water, and it's going to go straight into our fermenter. Our grains are still mashing away here. Now into this, we're going to put our spoon to start with, our scissors and our can opener. Same rules apply. From now on, anything that touches any of the cold side has to be exposed to sanitizer. Now, jug's just come to the boil, so we're going to tip half of that into the fermenter itself. I'm going to save this other half, put it aside, and we're going to use it to rinse these cans out. So I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You know how to use a can opener, so open this first can. All right, and get that poured into the fermenter. And same with the second tin of concentrate. Now, with our reserved hot water, I'll put that into our tin. Grab your tea towel and just give it a good swirl round and get all that concentrate. From the first tin to the second tin. So next is our 250 grams of dry malt extract. Followed by our 200 grams of dextrose. And we're going to grab our sanitised spoon and give that all a really good mix. Right, that can stay there like that. I'll pop this fermenter out of the way. And we'll get on to the next bit. Just bring you in a bit closer. So we're going to weigh our hops. And that's been tared off. And we want 15 grams. Get in there. The Centennial. Good shot, Harry. Tear that off. $15 grams of Amarillo. Close enough. Now to replicate a hop stand, we're going to use our coffee press. So we're going to put our hops in. Grab our jug of hot water that we just boiled. Fill him up. Put the plunger on. And we're going to set a time for 20 minutes. Give our grains a bit of a move around. It's been 30 minutes, time to separate the grains. Pick them up, put them in the colander, And we're going to give this a bit of a rinse. So I'll give this a bit of a rinse. We'll now bring this up to the boil and boil it for 10 minutes. Now, these grains are done and they're going straight in the bin or into the composting, whichever you choose. It's just important that we don't boil them. Now we're going to continue to stir this while it comes up to the boil. Now, as a top tip, I've got a spray bottle full of star sand, and you'll see why in a sec. Right, that's come up to the boil, so now we set a timer for 10 minutes. Now with your spray bottle, if it looks like it's going to start boiling over, just give it a squirt to settle things down. I'll just dial the power down a little. And we're good to go. That's 10 minutes, so we'll turn our induction hob off. Now it's also been 20 minutes since we started making our hop tea, so we'll just plunge that. Right, and move that up out of the way. We'll bring our fermenter back up and we'll get all that added. Right, so open up our fermenter. Pour our hop tea in. And you can see it does a pretty good job of leaving all the hops behind. And just pour our fresh malt into our fermenter. Give it all a really good mix. And we'll top it up to the 23 litre mark with cold water. Yep, so that's us there. It's 23 litres. Rid of the spoon. Just slide this forward. We can get at things. And as normal, we're just going to take a hydrometer sample. And so we're sitting at 1052. So we've taken our gravity reading. So the last thing we need to do is pitch our yeast. Now there's a stir bar on the bottom of this, so I've just got a magnet. And I've grabbed hold of the stir bar with the magnet. So now our yeast is swirled up. In it goes. Now, before we close the fermenter up with the airlock, we're going to sort out our dry hop.
The fingers you have used to dial are too fat. To obtain a special dialing wand, please mash the keypad with your palm now.
We want 12 grams of Centennial, 12 grams of Amarillo. Good enough. And into our hop sack, we're just going to put in a sous vide magnet and put our hops in our hop bag. And tie them off. If you can't tie knots, tie lots. Okay, now that sous vide magnet's there. And I'll bring you up so you can see. We're going to grab one of our super strong magnets and stick this to the top of the fermenter. Like that. So the plan is on day 3 when we want to dry hop, we don't have to open our fermenter. We just remove the top magnet and that will fall into our wort. So now that's in position, all that remains to do again is we'll just seal this up, fill our airlock and get it into our fermentation chamber. And there we are, all tucked in, ready to go. So from now, this is in the do not touch it phase till day 3, and we'll come out and just pop that magnet up off the top and dry hop the beer. Hey, that's it, mission accomplished. Huge thanks to both our distraction specialists, Sizzle and Schnitzel, for their heroic efforts in the great Tupperware heist of 2025. Without them, this beer might never have happened. Also, a big thanks to everyone who voted in the poll. This one was all because of you, and if you want to try the recipe, there's a link in the description. Give it a go and let me know how it turns out. Hey, thanks again for watching, and if you found the video useful, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out and lets me know that I'm on the right track. I'll see you on the next one. Till then, remember, life's too short to drink dodgy beers. Cheers. Oh yeah.